Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for June 23rd, 2026. We've got an Empire's Kingdom today and got some Alt VP. Castles, Triumphal Arch, Dominate, Temple, Sacrifice, Plunder. Yeah, there's some Alt VP on this board. Okay, so trashing is Catapult, Sacrifice, Temple, plus actions, Encampment, City Quarter, Bustling Village, Crown. Draw is Encampment, Settlers, Bustling Village a little bit, City Quarter, and gains. Looks like that's going to be... So there's capital. I mean, so there is Crown capital. Capital is by itself is very inefficient as a source of gains until like the end of the game, normally, because while it does give you a bunch of money up front, you have to pay it all back, and it effectively acts like a non-terminal ruin market. But Crown Capital, you get double the value, but the amount of debt that you have to take is the same. So it's not the strongest of the capital synergies, but it is a strong synergy. And yeah, so um so we could go like Catapult Overlord here, and then we potentially can play Catapult twice. If the Overlord, if we draw them together, we can always play Overlord as Encampment, which is pretty nice anyway. Alternatively, if we wanted to hit 5 more quickly, something good to open like Catapult Encampment or something, but I don't really see too much urgency to do that. The reason to want to hit 5 would be to get a capital, and that's until we are in a position to also get a crown. That's not actually that exciting anyway. So I think I'm just going to go Overlord. So now the question is, yeah, there is also sacrifice. We could sacrifice a state, or we can catapult attack. It is generally the case that, this is like the point in the game where the catapult attack is going to be least impactful. I do like getting rid of the estates. Yeah, let's go ahead and trash estate, I think. Okay, could just be another Overlord. Overlord is pretty good here. Unlike encampment, we don't have to worry about hanging on to it. I guess it does get worse once the encampments run. It can still be played as Crown and Settlers. But we don't necessarily want a huge stack of Overlords if the encampments actually end up getting controlled. But for the moment, that's not going to be a concern. So I think one more Overlord looks good. We could Crown here. I mean, I would rather sacrifice the estates. It's not like a huge difference. Hmm. I'm going to do this. Maybe that's incorrect. I don't know. All right, well, since we have 2 anyway, I think we might as well take an encampment. Really? Is the bot just going to squat on the encampments? Hmm. Well, alright, let's just crown. Then... I think? Hmm. I don't know what we're buying this turn is the tricky thing about it. But... I don't... The bot does have catapult, so I guess it would make sense to pick up a settlers. We could look to get a plunder this turn, and then if the bot... It could be that what we need more is a capital, honestly. I suspect the bot's just going to try to take the encampment and sit on that, but... Okay, that last card is our other overlord. I would really like to sacrifice a state, but if we want to hit 5, we kind of need to sacrifice copper. Does that even work? Doesn't, right? Trash 2 copper. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that doesn't work. We have to take a silver. Maybe we do. In which case we can sacrifice the estate. Okay. All right, so now if we do encampment, we catapult a copper, and we sacrifice a copper, you can get capital. And we can use that to buy a crown. We don't really need this catapult this turn. Returns 4 encampments to the pile. Okay. Right. So That's the silver. We want to see that. Don't really care about other stuff. What else can we do with this overlord? Possibly nothing. We get rid of the catapult. Settlers on top is fine. Catapult the catapult. It gives us an extra coin, which helps pay off debt. And it gives the bot a curse. Okay, so we definitely want a crown. Is it worth taking an encampment? We're going to have 6 debt. Minus... So we'd have 2 debt or 4 debt. And then next turn... Assuming we can crown our capital, which seems pretty likely. I mean, we'd end up returning the encampment. It probably doesn't make too much sense. To get an encampment that we probably just end up returning. We should wait a turn. Try to get a gold or something. Because, like, right now we can draw all these cards anyway. Alright, that last card is the silver. So we do want to see that. Do we want to catapult the silver? I mean, it would certainly... It's certainly something we're going to want to do at some point. I just don't know if we want to do it now. Right now the silver pays off the debt and we get 12 coins and 3 buys. We're going to want to buy another crown, another capital. And then we have 5 stop cards. So, like, the reason, I guess, to... If we trash the silver, then we have we have 13 coins. If we don't, we have 14 minus the 2. So we end up with 12 versus 11, which is enough to get crown capital either way. The advantage of trashing the silver now is that we can't fail to draw, basically. Which does seem pretty relevant. I don't want to take these things yet. Okay. I don't think it makes sense to, there's any reason to draw the Overlord and the Settlers there. So one more crown, one more capital, and then Could be gold encampment. Seems reasonable. All right. Last card is the other Overlord. That's fine. You're getting up there on the money. So we do still have these two Overlords that are going to get worse if we empty the encampments. But on the other hand, having all the encampments does seem generically useful. So what if we just took them all? 1, 2, 3. And some plunder. 1, 2 plunder maybe. And then like maybe a couple city quarters. 1 gold and 2 plunder ought to be good enough. Hmm. Eh. That's unfortunate. We can just take another city quarter. All right, now it's looking better. Okay, we can get rid of this curse. We could catapult the gold and then take the last plunder. I mean, we'd probably prefer to have a plunder in the deck than a gold, slightly. You know, and attacking is cool. Certainly do that. Yeah, I mean, why not? Okay, that's better. Get the plunder. Some more city. We can get 1 more city quarter, and that bumps our triumphal arch points. Not that that's necessarily the limit of how many city quarters you want anyway, but Um, getting one more crown capital pair would be nice, but obviously there's a little risk associated with that as well. We could get crown capital double city quarter though. Crown then can also be a potential bump to this, although probably it doesn't matter too much because ultimately we like the main scoring should be through dominate, but yeah, I'll do one more pair. I mean, we can always like crown action cards if we need to. I didn't with the Overlord the one time, but like crowning like an encampment obviously would be good. Yeah, okay, I think we drew here. I don't think I want to trash anything. We are getting close to the point where we could just win. We don't quite have the gains yet. Should we do a dominate? If we were to... How much money would we be generating if we didn't go into the next turn with debt? So this is 12 times 4 is 48. Plus 6 is 54. And that's not quite enough for 7 provinces. Hmm. Oh wait, maybe we have. Do we have enough for? We don't have enough for 5 capitals and 4 city quarters. That's the setup. I was looking around for 2 piles that added up to 9, and I didn't find that until just now. But yeah, we definitely don't have enough for that. All right, maybe we just go like add one more pair of these. Do 1 dominate, and then 2 more city quarters. 31 debt. We have to draw it, but we do net gain money. Like, if we pay, you know, like take on 10 debt to get these, we do get 12 money back the next turn. So it's still productive. That actually giving me a curse actually like slightly increases my payload because I can catapult. If we thought we were going to end the game, and I guess I didn't look at this last turn with the 1 coin, but I don't think it could have possibly mattered, but it would be correct to like Overlord catapult like the settlers. Just for the extra coin. We don't have to figure that out now, though. I can just see how much money we have. $36. Okay, that's... The bot lowered capital, so that's got to be a win. 15... 23. I think if we play, we do this, is in fact just enough that we can throw in a dominate too. So we go 1, 2, 3, dominate, city quarter, city quarter. Uh-huh. Not exactly a fast game turn count wise, but I mean, catapult will do that even when you're not getting catapulted that much, which I wasn't. But it's just like, I mean, honestly, well, yeah, there's powerful stuff on this board, but it was just slow to ramp up to it. Like the catapult is it's like kind of like attacking yourself because like you don't get a whole lot of value out of the trashing and on the turn that you do it, right? Like compared to other cards that give you more money for doing trashing or draw cards or whatever. Catapult hurts your opponent more than it hurts you for sure. But it's not exactly a card that gives you like a high reward for your own deck. So it tends to lead to that. And then there's also just not much else on this board that like is a good early accelerant. Like encampment's okay. But you just play it the once until you get to gold or plunder, and there wasn't like a fast way to do that here either. Obviously, Overlord as encampment is nice, and you get to keep it, but then it is also, of course, very expensive. So yeah, so definitely slow to get off the ground. But yeah, ultimately the payload here is pretty insane. If I had ever like taken a turn off from spending most of my or all of my money, like what would I have had if I'd gotten one more turn? With the 5 crowned capitals, it was 5 crowns, yeah. So that would be 60 money. Yeah, so that plus the plunders would have been enough to completely empty the provinces if they'd been full, for example. So, yeah. It's like, it was a lot. The bot's approach here was weird. It was like really focused on the encampments, even though I couldn't like do anything with them, and I was just like sitting on them. And then finally, I guess it spent all of its encampments to get the gold, but then it didn't have any source of gains, so it couldn't like rapidly add those back into its deck or anything. And I ended up taking all the encampments that it like was working so hard to incorporate into its deck, and then its deck was basically just nothing. Yeah. So I'm not really sure, yeah, what it was trying to do there or why it wasn't playing more with Catapult. It opened Sacrifice, right? No, wait, did it have a 5/2? No, or you did. Well, okay, it did, but it opened Encampment Sacrifice. Yeah, this is a weird opening to me. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just take Overlord there. It's much more flexible and like in the long run, you don't really care about having a sacrifice in your deck, and it gives you the option to play it as Catapult if you like don't see an estate or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I find that odd, but anyway, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.